Whew, child. Hello, everybody. It's Kendell Lenice, and welcome to Reviews and News. What am I reviewing right now? Impeachment, American Crime Story, talking about Bill Clinton. He was nasty. Talking about Bill Clinton. All right. So, if you're a person of a certain age, like moi, you remember the whole Monica Lewinsky Bill Clinton scandal, Paula Jones, all of the people who accused Bill Clinton of inappropriately touching them, making passes at them, um, violating them in some type of way. If you're not old enough, this is part of our history with Bill Clinton. He was accused of inappropriate behavior, pulling his penis out, down to Paula Jones knowing that it was small and curved. Like, they asked her to draw a picture of it. And the other women, when he was governor of Arkansas, that accused him of inappropriate behavior when it comes to sexual harassment and unwanted advances. So if you're old enough, you remember what was happening in the 90s. Well, there's a movie. Not a movie. Let me look. A show on FX called Impeachment, American Crime Story. So I don't know if y'all saw the one they did on O.J. Simpson and what had happened, that day in June on my birthday, the Bronco chase. But before that, you know about the O.J. Simpson case. If you don't, Google it if you're not old enough to remember. But those that are of a certain age remember exactly what was happening with his ex-wife, Nicole Brown, and him, I don't want to say killing her because he was found not guilty, but her dying, her and Mark Goldman in OJ, the OJ Simpson trial. That was like a big deal in the 90s. The OJ Simpson trial was huge. So American Crime Story did that a couple years ago, and it was phenomenal. The way that they did that, the way that they casted Courtney B. Vance as Johnny Cochran, the way that they casted Cuba Gooding Jr. as O.J. Simpson, Malcolm Jamal, just so many, they casted phenomenally for that. So now we're back with Impeachment, the American Crime Story, talking about Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky amongst everyone else. So this show right here is so good. It premieres September 7th of this year. And the episodes are still rolling out. So I think we're on episode 5 or 6 right now. I think it's 5 or 6. So it's still fairly new and you can still catch it. But honey, the casting on this is just as good. The acting is good. The story is good. Different story than O.J. Simpson, but a real story talking about Bill Clinton. The man that they even casted as Bill Clinton is perfect. His name is Clive Owen. Then they have Edie Falco as Hillary Clinton. They have Sarah Paulson. You know her if you see her as Linda Tripp. Now, Linda Tripp is a trip. If y'all remember that. Ooh. She was voted the most hated woman in America and the worst friend in America. Let's just talk about that part for a moment. So Linda Tripp, find out that I didn't even know back then, but she's in Columbia, Maryland, which is a hop, skip, and a jump from me. So Linda Tripp is at the executive state, and that's at the White House. She's working in the White House. I'm telling you kind of where it starts. She's working in the White House. And she sees one of the high ups the last day she sees him, And then he actually commits suicide. So she was the last one to see him. And she sees some of the things. She was from the previous, the previous administration, the Bushes, and she worked for them. She was a Republican. She could not stand Bill Clinton when he got elected. So she already had a side eye and a vendetta against him. And boy, did she show that she had a vendetta against him. So was already rumors that, when he was at governor level and how he was scum and he did this and that. And then she befriends a rich man's wife who volunteers there, and she tells him that, she kisses him and she has this conversation with her. Then she finds out different things, but she's a busybody and she's nosy and she's in everything. And they were trying to get her out the White House. So they got her out the White House and put her at the Pentagon. She did not want to be at the Pentagon. That was low grade to her. That was a demotion to her. But they wanted to get her out of there. And after they swept it and got all the new people, she wasn't one of them. So she was one of those types of people who, likes to be important or wants to feel important, even if she's not White House's status. Like people in Baltimore want to work for Johns Hopkins. People want to work for the government. Some people think, and that's to each his own, think that certain places give some type of badge of honor. And she was one of those people. Didn't really have, she had a couple of kids and a husband, but her life was her life for 20 something years. So she went to the Pentagon and she was upset about that, causing commotion. She had one of these personalities that was annoying, that nobody seemed to like. Nobody wanted to be bothered with her. They wanted to get her out the White House. Like she just was just obnoxiously annoying, in a lot of different ways. And if you were following Linda Tripp before, she, I was going to tell you something early, but I'll tell you later. So anyway, she's there. And she's already has a vendetta against the Clintons, and she already knows what's happening. And she already is looking for a way to, jump on this bandwagon to get him out of there. Impeachment. So she comes, and I'm fast forward. I can't tell everything. So just in case you want to watch it. So she fast forward to Monica Lewinsky, who was an intern at the White House. And that's how she met Bill Clinton. And they were carrying on with a love affair relationship under Hillary's nose, because she lived in the White House too. And Betty, let's just talk about Betty. Who is Betty? That was Will Smith, Bill Clinton's, and why did I say Will Smith? But Bill Clinton's executive assistant, administrative assistant, his second mom, a Black woman who was the gatekeeper. Okay, in the secret keeper. So even Monica Lewinsky knew Betty, and Bill was working through Betty, and Monica was working through Betty to get this love affair cracking. So just imagine the secrets that Betty carried. And I wonder how Hillary looked at Betty like, dang, but I guess her loyalty lied with Bill Clinton, the president at the time. So they're having an affair, and it finds out that they just had oral transactions, that they never had sex, but they were kissing, they were dating in the White House as much as you could, when she could see. So they got her butt out of the White House too. So she lands at the Pentagon, but Bill Clinton said and promised that she would get back to the White House, And we got to keep in mind that she was like 21 and he was a fully grown married man, 40 something at that time? 50, was even 50 something, I think, at that time. And he was having an affair with her. So she's naive, she's young, she's dumb, she's believing, what he says, I'm gonna call you. She's believing all of that. And then also I think that man of power, and I love him in this way. She's naive, but she does know obviously that he's married. So she lands at the Pentagon, and then she meets Linda Tripp. So Linda Tripp, she begins to confide in her like that's her mother figure or big sister. Remember, she's like 21. And she starts talking about she has a relationship, but she can't really touch it or feel it, or she can't, like it's long distance. So Linda Tripp, being her nosy, asking questions. Fast forward, she finds out that she's having an affair with the president. That's all she needs, right? That's all Linda Tripp needs. So then she starts to bait her and reel her in. And Monica Lewinsky's just desperate for somebody to talk to. She's frustrated. You know how if you're having trouble with your man or whatever, you want to just get it out and talk, and then this person is here. So you telling her everything. She's telling her everything, but telling her to keep it a secret. You know, nobody knows. My close friends know, my mother knows, but they don't know details. But she's telling Linda Tripp details, everything, because she's trying to get it off her chest. She's sad. She misses Bill Clinton and all of this other stuff. Well, Linda Tripp ends up using it against her. As you know, in real life, these are real life stories. So you know the whole story. If you don't, Google it. So she uses, and this, when you see it reenacted and you see the behind the scenes stuff and how all the Republicans were trying to get Bill Clinton out and how everybody was playing their part to really impeach him. But I look at the last president we had, nobody had that. Where was that energy then to get him out? Nobody had that energy. The Democrats didn't have that energy like the Republicans did to try to get Bill out. They didn't. So they show the story, but I'm overviewing, but they show details of the story and what was happening behind the scenes, because we just saw the news. So they break it down. But Linda Tripp was a Tripp. That was her name, and this should have been her name. And she was scandalous. So she befriended this young girl and started finding all the information, even down to dates. Monica was so naive, telling her dates, times, telling her where they went, and when she talked to him, crying on her shoulder, crying all the time, wanting to see him, not leaving her apartment. And she's a rich girl from Beverly Hills, you know, so she comes in dressed and, you know, her little hats and all of this. And she's in love with him, and any glance, any phone call, anything, she's hanging on. Typical young man, younger woman, young woman, and older man type situation. And he played on that, bought her gifts and all kind of stuff. He played on that from what they're saying in this, you know, from the news, we remember, but the way that they break it down and how, you know, it was a trip. But Linda Tripp befriended her only to get her to tell her. So then everybody knows about the semen stained dress, the blue dress, the infamous blue dress. Well, how they showed that was in her closet. And she said she was take it to the dry cleaners. And Monica said, it's nasty. And Linda was like, what you mean? And she was like, oh, that's what you mean. So she convinces her not to take it to the dry cleaner so she can set her up. So, because Linda Tripp wants to be important, she wants to feel needed, she wants to feel like she's doing something for the government, she wants to get her coin, she wants to write her book, and they need something salacious to do it, because other little ideas she had, it was like, come better than that. So now she's like, I know somebody having an affair with the president for 2 years, and I know the semen stained dress. Like, so and if you see the friendship between Monica Lewinsky and Linda Tripp, you think that it's a friendship. You think it's like mother-daughter, but the whole time Linda Tripp is plotting. She might have cared for her, but in her weird way, she said she thought she was saving her from this creep of a president. That's how she was saying it. And it's for your own good, but down to recording all the phone calls in Maryland, it was illegal, and she was doing it, didn't know, recording every phone call they had. So imagine if you're talking to your best friend, right? And you feel comfortable. That's what she was doing. And she was taping all of them, like recording them with tape. She had all these baskets of tapes that she was taping her with Monica not even knowing. So then it fast forwards to when it hit the fan, check the news, Google, when she gets the FBI tapes her, you know, puts the recording device in her so she can get them to get what they need so they can get Bill Clinton out of there. And Monica's like, she starts catching on and thinks like, oh, okay, maybe she's recording me. She checks her purse when she leaves, but it's not. It was on her. The mic was on her, to the point where she lures her into the FBI's hands and makes her tell her story. When Monica Lewinsky was going to keep it a secret, she lied. She perjured herself, saying that they didn't have an affair, that deny, and she wanted Linda Tripp to deny it too. And Linda Tripp was like, I don't know how I got subpoenaed. I don't know why they called me. Monica doesn't know that Linda Tripp created all of this and was feeding them all the business, everything that she told them, like she was a Tripp. But the actress, Miss Paul's, Sarah Paulson, she got Linda Tripp down pat. So does Beanie Feldstein. She plays Monica Lewinsky. Cute girl, little chubby girl, cute. She plays her brilliant because back then Monica Lewinsky is like, she looks great now. She looked cute then, but she was a chubby young lady. Now she's this, older woman, of course. But I wonder if she thinks back like, dang, because she's part of this movie. But I wonder if she's like, dang, he really played me. Like he really manipulated. Because when you see her naivete and you see her, you think back. If you're watching it, you'd be like, because my husband was like, she can't be that. I said, you have to remember, she is, because I got him watching it. I was like, she is a young girl. He's an older man. So forget the president, forget what happened. Just think about that. He's like, but she knew she was married. He's married. I'm like, yes, she did. But they believe what, these older men say, and she really was in love with him. And that Linda Tripp played Monica Lewinsky. She recorded her without her knowledge. She set her up with the FBI, put her name all in it when she wasn't going to have her name in it. That lady was about to go to New York, Vernon Jordan. They talk about him. They talk about how he's Bill Clinton's fixer, almost like Olivia Pope in the situation. And she was about to go to New York, work for Revlon, which Jordan set up for her from Bill Clinton to try to get her, on with her life. And all of that changed. And when we think about Monica Lewinsky, that's what we think about. So that has to be difficult in your young 20s. Yes, you did that. Yes, you were wrong. People do things that weren't their 20s that they wouldn't do in their 30s and 40s. Hopefully you learn. But her whole life was, for years, was surrounded around that blue dress that Linda Tripp told them that she had. She betrayed her in the worst way. Like, so to me, she manipulated this young girl the same way Bill Clinton did. She still treats, and this girl was already abused. She already was at 14, she already was, sexual predators were already after her, and she was already, so you understand how she, got that way. Like, she always was used, and she always was pursued by older men and grown men, even a teacher at her school, and she was violated at 14. So you see the trauma there, right? So, and then falling in love with the president and that manipulation. But then she falls in love with her best friend, Linda Tripp, and then she manipulates her and she abuses her, but just in a different way. So you look at that like, this girl was young, and this is her whole life. She's known after that. Now she's an advocate, and she is a businesswoman and owner, and now she's, shedding that. But just imagine, as a young person, you're just starting out. Yes, she was wrong for doing what she was doing, but at the same time, her life would have gone on and we wouldn't even have known who she was, right? But Linda Tripp made us know who she was and put all the tea. She spilled all the tea. Boston Tea Party all over. She spilled everything. And then you got Paula Jones, bless her heart. She was just country coming up, not knowing that she got with a fixer who wanted to Bill Clinton gone too. So they done dressed her up, put her braces on her, gave her some fake nails, did her hair over, tried to take the country out of her and change her. And y'all remember Paula Jones? She wrote a book. Minnie Tripp wrote a book. All these people wrote a book. But I didn't realize that Bill Clinton's list was that long. I remember all of that, but I didn't remember when he was governor. He had all these people. I didn't know all that. I don't remember, on the state level, because I wasn't in Arkansas, but I guess his numbers were up. He was for the streets. That's what it seems like. And he kept doing it. So I'm on I just finished episode 5 and waiting for episode 6. So that's kind of all the way up till then. But definitely watch it. Watch it and let me know in the comments what you think about Impeachment, American crime story. It's good. FX be coming with the good when it comes to these American crime stories. So it's good. But let me know what you think. This is Kendell Lenice for Reviews and News. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. And let me know what you want me to review next, because I'll talk to you about it. We'll have this conversation right here on YouTube at Reviews and News. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.